Okay, well, hello and welcome everyone. Really glad you're here. And this is what we call our Nourish Your Dopamine slash joy information and education call. So I'm genuinely so glad that you're here, whether, you got kids running around the house, I know that I do, or you have dinner half made, or your camera's on or off, whatever it may be. I'm so glad you made it, however you made it. And truly, your presence really matters in this community. So, thank you for being here. And I'm really excited because tonight we're talking about something that touches every area of our lives, whether we realize it or not, and that is dopamine. And before we go any further, I want you to know this. This call, it's not meant to be a lecture. It's meant to be a homecoming. So, quick question for you all. When you hear the word dopamine, what comes to mind? Go ahead and drop it in the chat. We'll just see what people say. Yeah, so most people relate it to pleasure, reward, right? But what many people don't know, iPhone, yep. Dopamine is actually more about motivation, drive, anticipation, follow through, emotional regulation, and yes, joy. So it's actually our brain's I have energy to do life chemical. And here's the truth that most people don't realize. We are living in the most dopamine overstimulating environment in human history. The average person, like I was blown away by this, touches their phone over 2,600 times a day. And every notification on our phone, it spikes the dopamine and then it immediately drops it. Sugar, which we're surrounded by all the time, right? It activates the same reward pathways that addictive drugs do. Chronic stimulation that we're surrounded by all the time, it lowers our dopamine sensitivity. So if you have been feeling, scattered or tired, maybe irritable, just kind of flat or unmotivated, you're not broken by any means. Your dopamine system is actually just exhausted. And I want to offer you all a visual that kind of helped me understand this deeply. I'm wearing this necklace today. I don't know if you can see it, but it's a dragonfly, one of my favorite animals. And the dragonfly, what's really special about them is they have this 360-degree vision. But even though they can see everything, they don't chase everything in the sky. They move with such precision and presence and clarity. If you've ever seen a dragonfly move, they're just so precise in their movements. And that's what regulated dopamine feels like. It feels like you're not frantic, but you're focused, right? You're directed. You know where you're going. And when your dopamine is depleted, everything feels loud and like you have to chase everything and scattered and urgent. So you're not failing, but your internal guidance system is just overwhelmed. And so that's why we feel scattered and tired and just overstimulated. So let's be honest about the season that we're in, right? From November to the new year, our nervous systems get slammed, right? More sugar, more scrolling, more stimulation, more shopping, more emotional load, more decisions to make, often less sunlight, less rest, and less presence. So drop a heart in the chat if you feel this about this time of year, and you not only feel it physically, but you can feel it mentally, right? And I think I these thoughts cross my mind of like, man, maybe if I just had more discipline, or if I had more willpower, or if I had more motivation, things would feel different. But the truth is much simpler than that. Our brains are just overloaded, right? Our nervous system is overstimulated and our dopamine is depleted. So I want to share something really real with you all because it's kind of something that I even hate to admit myself. Pretty much every morning I wake up, the first impulse I have is to reach for my phone. Before my feet even hit the floor or my body wakes up, there's that desire to, check the notification or see what I missed. And even though I know that that's not good for my body, and most of the time I'm able to resist that urge and I try to go, get sunshine on my face first or drink water or do my prayers instead, that urge is still there and it's always there. And it hit me recently that, that reach for the phone, it's not really a decision, but it's a reflex. And researchers actually call this an automatic dopamine loop. So it's behavior that is so fast that it bypasses your conscious choice. And that's pretty remarkable, right? So drop a one if you've ever witnessed yourself in an automatic dopamine loop, and maybe you've been conscious or unconscious of it, right? Maybe you've been able to stop it, maybe you haven't. And just recently, I was listening to Dr. Anna Limbeck. She's the author of Dopamine Nation, and she explained something so important that helped me understand this. She said, when we are constantly stimulated by pleasure that's all around us, like our phones, the sugar, the scrolling, the shopping, the caffeine, our brain actually adapts to that and it starts producing less dopamine on its own because it becomes less sensitive to what it needs to produce because it's getting it from all around it. So even though we're surrounded by pleasure, we would think, oh, our dopamine should be up. It actually does the opposite to us. We actually feel less motivated, more anxious, more depressed, and emotionally flat because our bodies aren't producing the dopamine anymore. We're getting it externally. So this isn't a bad habit issue. This is seriously a nervous system issue. This is a dopamine issue. This is a freedom issue, right, of our choices. And so that's why we decided to create this reset. And here's something else that's really powerful about dragonflies. They spend most of their life underwater, sometimes even years. They don't rush their transformation. They definitely don't force the flight. They nourish, they develop, and when it's the right time, they emerge. And so that's how dopamine healing works. You don't force motivation. You create the environment for it to return. So that's exactly what this reset is about, is creating the environment internally and externally for our dopamine sensitivity to return. So let me be very clear. This is not a detox. It's not a cleanse. It's not a punishment. It's not about restriction. This is a gentle nervous system centered reset. It focuses on simple but potent nourishment, tiny daily habits, effort-based dopamine, and community support. So here's the good news. Dopamine sensitivity can definitely be rebuilt. And when it is, motivation returns, focus returns, and most importantly, joy returns. So I'll say this, and I can't emphasize it enough, that this reset is not just for you. It's for the whole family. A child's nervous system syncs to their caregivers within 60 to 90 seconds. So when you regulate, your kids regulate. When you're dysregulated, your kids are dysregulated, right? And kids are growing up in the most dopamine environment that any generation has ever experienced, right? And it's not because parents are doing something wrong, but because their nervous systems are developing to be exposed to such high levels of stimulation that human biology was never designed for. So here's what we see real life, right? We see lower tolerance for patience. We see more frustration. We see the constant need for stimulation. We see children having difficulty sustaining focus, big emotional mood swings, trouble settling the body. And if our children are experiencing that, we're experiencing that too. So it's not their fault. It's their brains. It's our brains. They're being hijacked by this constant stimulation of the world we live in. But the good news is that when we restabilize our dopamine, our patience will expand, right? The meltdowns will decrease. Our connection deepens because your brain actually releases dopamine when it feels safety, belonging, shared purpose. And so that's why we're doing this reset together and why we encourage you to do it with your family. Because, yes, all of the superfoods that we're going to talk about today are 100% family friendly. So, I'll tell you, before I started this superfood journey, I was a single mom and I was totally burning the candle at both ends. I was working multiple jobs, running on very little sleep. I found myself most days anxious, depressed, scattered, exhausted. My hair was falling out. My moods were literally all over the place. And I just felt like I was surviving. Drop a two in the chat if you've ever had a moment like that in your life. And it wasn't until I really started nourishing my body deeply with the superfoods that we're going to talk about that I realized how drained I was. And with starting these superfoods, I'll tell you, I'll kid you not, like within days, my energy began returning. Within weeks, my mood started to regulate. And within 90 days, I felt my joy come back, my creativity, my passions, the parts of me that I'd almost given up on, honestly. And that's when I learned when our brain is nourished, the body follows. When dopamine stabilizes, compulsions start to dissolve. And when your cells finally have what they've been missing, life can open back up again. So, healthy dopamine comes after effort. You don't just reset your dopamine overnight. It comes after, a walk, a hug, a creative act, an act of generosity, deep nourishment, regulating and resetting your body. And this actually retrains dopamine receptors to become sensitive again. And when the sensitivity comes back, the dopamine restores itself and you return to yourself. So that's why in this reset, we're not just including organic superfoods, but we are also including guided daily exercise and alignment practices to help with that environment. We have daily dopamine reset steps. We have nervous system regulation support tools as part of this reset. We even have a 30-day dopamine guide and podcasts. We're doing these weekly Thursday calls for the community and education aspect. We're also doing fun giveaways for additional products like our pineal clear and chill spray, which are herbs that really support brain health and dopamine resetting. We have a 90-day dopamine grid that you can check off what you're doing to restore your dopamine on a daily basis. And so it's a container held in support and accountability. And, I do want to share a little, I guess it's a testimony that was posted in our group this week from someone who's absolutely taking advantage of all of the benefits of this group. And she wrote, "This dopamine reset has helped me to identify that I actually have an addiction to sugar. This was a win because I can now embrace the freedom to choose health and reduce sugar intake. Additionally, my energy level and mood has improved. I feel better. And being a part of this amazing group has kept me accountable, consistent with taking my superfoods and doing the reset activities every day. I'm so grateful." So we're hearing wins like this every single day in our WhatsApp group and our Facebook group that's part of this. And it's really inspiring for all of us to be in that accountability together. So if you want to join us, I'm going to now talk about, how you join us in this group. And you can opt in to do the full Nourish Your Dopamine Reset, um, entering three different tiers. So tier one is what we call like our starter tier. It's less than $150 for the month. And this is perfect if you're trying to really focus on fewer cravings, fewer compulsions, just more steadier, clean energy. And what it comes with is what we call our power shake. So it comes in a biodegradable and hemp and bamboo compostable packaging, which is amazing for our environment. And dopamine really requires high levels of magnesium, zinc, iron, potassium, and B6. And most adults are deficient in at least three of these. So nutrient deficiency can reduce dopamine production by up to 50%, which is really high. So this power shake is going to replenish all those raw materials so that your brain can actually start producing dopamine again. I'll tell you, I call this my liquid sunshine. I don't go a morning without it. And if I run out, I'm calling my friend or my neighbor, whoever has it, and like, do you have any? Because this truly is just pure nourishment, especially first thing in the morning and throughout the day. Um, the next thing that comes in your tier one is called Biomedic, and it also comes in the compostable packaging. I have it in one of my mason jars here. And over 50% of dopamine is influenced by our gut. So if we have a lot of gut inflammation, we have a lot of dopamine disruption. And this biomedic helps to restore the balance of what we call a CRP, which is the precursor for inflammation in the body. And it reduces that by 75%. So one of the amazing things that I didn't realize is how much inflammation can be tied to mood. And when I first started taking the biomedic, Within 3 weeks of being on it regularly, I had the most regular moods I had ever had in my life. I'm someone who's kind of had spouts of depression and different mood swings throughout my whole life. And the biomedic, I can honestly say within those 3 weeks, it was like the most stable I'd ever felt in my moods. So that was a big aha moment for me in terms of how the gut and inflammation can even lead to, our moods and our mental stability. So that's tier one. You're just doing the power shake and the biomedic on a daily basis, right? Once a day. And then if you want to go a little bit deeper and you're wanting a little more support, the next tier is what we call our core four. And this is just $7 a day for the month. So this one really hones in on deeper sleep, more of that emotional steadiness, and it equals to one superfood meal a day. So you get everything that we talked about in tier one, the power shake and the biomedic. And then you also additionally get what we call the amino acids. Dopamine is literally built from amino acids. So if you have low amino acids, you have low dopamine. And there's 9 essential amino acids that we have to get from external sources, and all of them are in here. So when you increase your amino acid intake, you're going to increase your ability to have motivation and focus as well. I personally keep these in my purse. I don't go anywhere without them because in the afternoon, if I'm feeling a lull or I'm feeling like I need a little more concentration or energy, amino acids is the first thing that I feed my body because they're the building blocks for life. So you get those in addition. And then the fourth item is what we call our apothecary, which is just 100% organic tart cherry. And this is going to support with that deep restful sleep. So sleep loss alone significantly decreases dopamine receptor availability. So, which is why even one night of poor sleep can impact your mood, your focus, your motivation. And tart cherries, which this is, increase natural melatonin by 38%. So they help you get into that deep REM sleep. A rested brain is regulated hormones and regulated nervous system. This is actually my kids' favorite drink because they feel it. They get deeper sleep. They don't feel as groggy in the morning. So they make this for themselves at night. Like I don't even have to make it for them. They love it so much. And they make it for me too, which is great. Um, and then the beautiful part about the core four is you also get the option to do another shake. So you can choose to have 2 bags of power shake, or you can also do 1 bag of power shake and opt for our dark berry protein, which I highly suggest. Because this is really, really rich in antioxidants and brain food. So the brain uses 20% of the body's oxygen, which I think is kind of surprising. And antioxidants really protect our dopamine pathways and they enhance the brain and the cellular energy. So this is full of oxygen-rich foods and herbs that are going to help boost brain activity and focus and clarity as well. So that is tier two. Like I said, $7 a day. You get all of that. You take it once throughout the day. You can mix up your shakes, and you're well on your way to feeling dopamine restored. But if you want to go even deeper, and this is truly what I suggest for everyone in all honesty, this is what we call tier three, the ULT, the ultimate lifestyle transformation. And that's if you really want to transform these habits. That's if you really want to start digging into the nervous system reset, if you really want to work on stabilizing metabolism. And you're going to get everything that you get in your core four, but you get double the amount so that you can actually be doing it twice a day. Because when we flood our body with nourishment, not just once, but twice a day, our body is able to create more of that environment that increases dopamine sensitivity. So you get everything, but you get twice a day. So it's about $13 a day for 2 organic superfood meals a day. And then you're also additionally going to get a parasite cleanse, which is really important. Not many people would say, well, how is dopamine and joy related to parasites? But actually, parasites consume a lot of our minerals and our amino acids. And if you don't have minerals and amino acids, your body can't make dopamine. So low minerals means low neurotransmitters, which equals low mood. And yeah, I'll say my kids the other day, my husband and I just got done with a parasite cleanse, and one of my kids came up to me and said, Mom, you and Dad haven't fought in a while. And I was like, wow, we've been on the parasite cleanse. That's pretty incredible. So, personal story there. And then if you are pregnant or nursing, you can swap out the parasite cleanse because you don't want to do that when you're pregnant or nursing, and you can just add what we call our cracked cell chlorella. It's just a swap for it. And cracked cell chlorella is so high in iron and magnesium and zinc and B6, all those minerals and vitamins we need to produce dopamine. They're four essential cofactors for dopamine synthesis. And cracked cell chlorella also really increases our oxygen delivery, and dopamine enzymes require oxygen to activate. So even if you're going to do the parasite cleanse, I suggest adding the cracked cell chlorella onto it as well because it will just enhance the experience. And then there's two other little products that we're going to recommend as add-ons. Um, the first one is Pineal Clear. And I take this every night with the apothecary because the herbs in here really support your creativity and your deep dreaming. The herbs in here are very high energy, and dopamine production is very dependent on high energy. So that's a good one to add in for brain clarity and focus. And then we have a new chill spray, which I would also recommend as an add-on. This is GABA and L-theanine. So these are two compounds your brain already uses, but those compounds help to interrupt spiraling thoughts. They support emotional balance, help quiet your mind, help you, calm down if you've been revved up or overstimulated. And I kid you not, when I first got this in the mail, I did the 6 sprays on my tongue and I felt it immediately. Like I just felt this calm wash over me. And I don't necessarily know all the science behind it, but I know the feeling I have in my body when I take this, and it is calm and restored. So, highly recommend. We're actually doing a giveaway right now in our reset group for this. So, there's opportunity to win some of these add-ons. So that's how you join. Either one of those three tiers will get you into the group, and then you'll get all the additional bonuses that we talked about. So, whoever invited you to this call, they have a special discount code for you. So you just reach back out to them, let them know what tier you're feeling like you want to get started with, and then they'll get you into the group. Definitely no pressure here. Just choose the support that you need in this season. Again, tier one is fewer cravings, steadier energy. Tier two, which is the core four, is more of that deep sleep and that one meal replacement a day. And then tier three is the ultimate lifestyle transformation for that full transformation, nervous system reset, metabolism reset, and 2 superfood meals a day. So go ahead and drop in the chat if you're resonating with one of the tiers more, one, two, or three. And if you're already in the group, let us know what tier you started with. We'd love to know. So the beauty of this group is that we start now and you can choose 30 days, right? 30 days, we're going to start interrupting the patterns. If you choose to continue with us and go on for 60 days, that's when you're really going to start rewiring the brain. And if you choose to continue on into the 90 days, that's when you become a pattern shifter, right? You get to change your identity, change your choices, create a whole new relationship with how you're walking in this world because you're fully nourishing yourself. So before we close, I really want to open this up to any of you. If you've been using the superfoods, maybe you've done the ULT reset in the past, or you're joining us again for another time, or if this is your first time and you're noticing, small shifts, fewer cravings, better sleep, mood enhanced, energy, motivation, anything in that regard, we would love to hear you just share one simple thing you've noticed. We don't need to go with anything medical or nothing dramatic, just one way you feel different. So, Ashley, I see you have your hand raised. I'd love to hear from you how this experience has been for you so far.
But that's one thing, but there's so many things, Mary Beth. Okay, one thing. My favorite thing is oh, God, okay. I sleep so much better actually. Along with other things, but my sleep has been the absolute best over the last like almost 60 days now. And I say this because I really struggled in the past. Like for some reason, anxiety would like slip in, and then I would like get really hot and then not be, my mind would just continue running. So, I literally take my pineal clear, I take my apothecary together at night, and I take my bio relax. So doing all that has really helped me just find a better balance and better routine. And I'm really happy about that.
Awesome. That's great, Ashley. And why don't you share one more with us since you said you had so many?
My skin. So I in the skin industry and for me being on the box, so I went all in, thanks to Allison, and I struggled with dermatographia for years. And apparently there's no like medical reason for it. They say there's these things that could cause it in terms of whether it's like stress or just, hypersensitivity or allergy. But I was literally just showing one of my girls today, and what it is like if you touch your skin or scratch your skin, you get really bad raised bumps. And so, like, I scratched real hard in front of her today. And so, we were waiting and watching for some things to happen. And it hasn't been like that for a couple weeks now. So, I'm just really happy that that's gone. Yeah.
That's amazing because I'm sure that in itself is really stressful,
Yeah.
which, yeah, so I'm so happy that you're having those results and I'm excited for you to just continue on and just see what continues unfolding for you. So, um, right on, Ashley. Congratulations. Shy, let's hear from you.
Thank you, Mary Beth. I have not started yet. I wanted to share my excitement. I just received my Core 4 products this week. So I'm excited about, oh my goodness, focus, deeper sleep, decreased sugar cravings, nervous system alignment, and of course, joy. So I'm just really excited to get started, and I'll be back to share what my results are.
Yay! Awesome, Shy. Thank you so much for sharing your excitement. And go ahead and drop in the chat, y'all, if you've experienced any of those things that Shy is excited to experience. I know I have. So good things to come for you. Allison.
Hey, Mary Beth and team. Love the presentation. Thank you so much for the info. I love learning. I always have, but it's really fun to come into new stages of my life and still be a student of life and then be in new routines because we are, as humans, like we create rituals for ourselves. Either it's a healthy, constructive ritual or it can be a destructive one, right? So it's really fun to use my skill sets, as a parent, as a business owner, as a, just a more rounded out individual. So I love how you were explaining. Oh, and welcome Ashley and Hanan. I think this is your first time attending this call. Thank you for being here. Uh, I love sharing this space with people. I I love what you said. It's something about dopamine and effort building, right? Like what actually happens when we actually put in effort, meaning we can grab quick fixes that will be superficial and maybe dig us out of the hole in the moment. But work always is required for true growth and transformation. So I will do work on the front end of things, whether it's for my business, for my family, for my health, or I'm going to end up doing it on the back end. And when I'm trying to catch up on the back end, it's a lot harder. So I just love that what we have started here together and that I will continue for the rest of all time because I love the results. I'm just so much more available. You talked about quieting the noise. Like my husband and our two little boys just went into the store right now and I could just zero in on the call. And that's literally what happens when I take good care of myself. It's just I can move more fluidly through the world. Life is going to come to me and I can like greet it in a state of gratitude and abundance and actually give to it, or I can try and block it out and run away from it all the time. So I'm much more able to harmonize with what is presented to me as an opportunity rather than, reacting out of fear or lack, right? Which when we are depleted, we are in a state of survival and we are full on lack. So it is quite a shift. Thank you.
Yeah, and that you make a really good point, Allison, of just like when we try to block it out or all that, that's a sign that our dopamine sensitivity has been so reduced by the environment around us. And when we're able to hone in and focus and just be, our dopamine sensitivity is coming back. And I know you've been going strong with the nutrition for a long time, so sounds like your dopamine sensitivity is working well. Congratulations. Camille, let's hear from you.
Yeah, thank you. Great information tonight. Um, I've I've been on the program for like 6 years. I wouldn't even say it's a program. It's just like my lifestyle. It's the foundation of my nutrition. But what I remember being really profound for me when I first started, I was a nursing mom. At the time, I was really depleted, and I was struggling to lose weight for gut health. So right away, my cravings reduced. Uh, the inflammation in my body and like chronic pain went way down. In about 3 months, I just passively lost about 25 pounds, which was really great. And better digestion and better skin health too. And more confidence. I just felt more alive, like just had more purpose. And it's like I felt like I was, came back to myself.
Yeah, I love that because it truly is how I started the call. Like, this is a homecoming. It's amazing when we nourish our bodies and we put ourselves in environments of support and accountability and, simple daily habits that help us shift into more proactive living, that homecoming of what we experience. So thank you for sharing that, Camille. And yeah, thanks for sharing your lifestyle that this is because I can relate. It's a lifestyle for me now. So I think we have time for one more share. We'll go a little longer, but I do want to make sure everyone shares that wants to. Karen, you want to share?
Uh, yes. Good afternoon, good evening. I resonate with what everyone has said. I was introduced to Period by my coach, Coach Rita, some time ago, and I did a small uh, reset with it. And I knew that this was something for me. I knew that this would work for me. And so I made a commitment. I said I was going to start in 2026, but I'm so glad that you all, actually brought this to us to go ahead and start before, because I'm that typical dieter, where, oh, I'll do it on Monday, with the new year. And so this has been so refreshing, and I just feel so much more in control, especially doing it at this time of the year. I just started 2 days ago, okay, just 2 days ago. And thus far, I feel so much lighter. I feel more clarity. I don't know. I know that this is going to work for me. And also, it's so much easier using this product. And I also get very full as well. And I wanted to ask because today, I mean, I was kind of running late and I was like, oh my gosh, I don't really have time to have another shake and then eat my one meal. So would it have been okay to just skip that second shake, or should I did do it, but I am so full, Mary Beth. I am so full in a good way, in a good way. But I love this. I love each and every one of you. Thank you so much. I've learned so much through your teachings, and just continue, please, because we all need this. We all need it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Awesome, Karen. Thank you for sharing. And yeah, like this part of the process that I love this is it's helping us get back to our intuition of like, what does my body really need right now? And I think that's a really important part of like noticing, wow, I feel really full. And one of the reasons is the power shake, especially like we talked about, this is more nourishment than your body has been exposed to in so long, maybe ever. And so all of a sudden your cells, even though calorically it might not be that dense, they are fed and they're nourished. So if you feel like, wow, I'm feeling really full, go with that, listen with that. There's many times when I've just had a shake for dinner because I'm like, wow, my body feels good and I'll have my tart cherry in a little bit. And, I wake up really refreshed that way. So it's not like a right or wrong here. It's really about like, how can I use this nourishment to get back in tune with what my body really needs? And that helps us regain our dopamine sensitivity too. So experiment with it. Just try. Some night try the meal, some night try the shake and see what morning you wake up feeling better. So yeah, awesome. Well, thank you so much, everyone. I really love this call and I do love all the shares and the community support. And um, we won't have a call next Thursday because it is, Christmas. So we will be kicking off the new year on January 1st with our official like welcome and celebration call for Nourish Your Dopamine. So you have plenty of time to join us still if you're watching this replay or here with us live. And in the new year, we will continue holding the container and we're going to just kind of shift it a little bit into not just nourishing your dopamine, but really focusing on nourishing that joy. So come back January 1st to hear the new unveiling and to celebrate yourself and others and be welcomed into this community. So with that being said, all I'm going to say is, you don't necessarily need more discipline. You definitely don't need to wait till January. I'm glad you didn't, Karen. And you don't need to fix yourself. What you need is nourishment and support and little tools to help you in little steps forward. So you're not failing. You're just tired. Your dopamine is tired and dysregulated. So let's reset that together. And this truly is an invitation to come home to yourself and bring your whole family along with you. So if your gut right now is saying, wow, I need this, or you have chills like I do, trust that. Your dopamine is what says this matters. So pay attention. So, like I said, get back to the person who invited you this call. They'll give you their special discount. You can get started with whatever tier feels best for you. And we start now, you know? So, as a collective, we can choose not to crash into the new year, but we can move consciously and courageously into this next chapter with each other by each other's sides. So thank you so much. I hope you all have a wonderful evening and a wonderful holiday. And yeah, cheers to all of you who shared. Thanks so much.